Good morning. It's 10 a.m. Friday, May 20. Is this the 22nd? I think it's the 22nd. Is this the 22nd? Let me take a look. Friday, May 22nd. Sure is. Well, here I am with page 63. And yesterday I was coloring it. Like I said, the dog wouldn't stand still, so I had to color this page. And I got to this point. I was pretty happy with it. But I got this on the other side of the gutter, so to speak, in the parlance of. So this is a little bluer and not as bright. So I played around with that. This down here was a lot darker, so I lightened it up. Did a lot of redrawing. Took out some of the dark parts, except for Blueboy's boots, and I lightened up these guys' hats so they wouldn't do that. And I may do a redraw of this eventually. Exactly the same thing, but just less, cross hatching and all that other stuff. I don't know. We'll see about that. But I just wanted to sort of match this. And I think I'm going to do that just by laying a shadow area on it. And yeah, lay a shadow area on it. Just in blue. This, probably this blue right there. See what it looks like. Okay? Can't do any harm. Put it right there in the shadow layer. Do it right for the first time. Well, I did an entire area. The wrong layer yesterday. So let's start out with, let's just see how it looks with this guy. Well, it's on normal. That's why it doesn't look like that. Okay. Normal. Okay, now it looks like a shadow. Okay. Same problem always. That I'm okay. So I'm gonna now I got this shadow. Okay. Gotta make that shadow consistent. Okay. Over here too. Okay. You can have little breaks in the shadow just so the color comes through. Here we got this. And I sort of laid that out in the tone to give me a guide where I want it to be, so I don't have to make a decision on the fly. So I'm going to do this in a limited way, and then I'll go back probably to that other page and do some adjustments. And bring this over here, then this down here. Okay, and okay, fill this in. Notice I didn't hem and haw and do all types of introductions today because I looked at my rebroadcasts and I noticed that I was talking a lot, not saying much. So I thought I'd just jump into it today. And lay this in. See what this looks like. Okay, and this guy needs to be in shadow also. I guess he's an older guy. So I didn't give him any color for his beard. Lots of people had beards in the era after the Civil War up to World War One. In World War One, because of lice, you started shaving your head and getting it having almost no hair. And it was in the military because lice was everywhere. And so if you didn't have any hair, no place for the lice to lay their eggs. And so close cropped hair became a big thing. Whereas before that, men had hair like hippies. You know, it looked like something out of the 60s. And it was something out of the 60s, 1860s. Lots of Civil War generals had long flowing hair, and the Beatles had. And that's working pretty well. I'm going to sort of make it, kind of broken at times. Yeah. Let some of that pure color shine through so that we get a little more, eye action. The eyes do it. Okay. I'll put it down here too. Color is khakis. It's going to be pretty much all of this is going to be in shadow. If you can't see what I'm doing on the screen, like you're on the phone or something, I'm on the second panel over on the right. And looking at this, it does do a good job of making that pike pole stand out. Let's do a little bit of this over here. Let's save all the time. Always a good idea to save. I can just sketch these shadows in, and it won't matter too much because I've got the base colors plus my tone layer already done. So this can be kind of real sketchy, and it should work. I want to kind of fix that up and bring this over here like that. Okay. Towards the bottom probably should be a little less noise in there. At the bottom of sort of a base. Okay, let me see. This isn't the multiply brush that keeps multiplying. Okay. What's that look like? Looks a little better. I'm gonna go down here. Use my hand tool. Probably should make it a little smaller. Yep. Now I can get both these guys in. And add this shadow area. Hopefully it'll cause old Leroy's face to be a little dark, that little darker, and that way it'll stand out a little bit more against that gray background. And this right there. Okay. Okay, and then this over here. I don't know if that works. We'll see. Okay, let's put some shadow over here. Okay. And he'll be the only one that has shadow on him. These guys won't. Their simplicity will keep them from breaking plane and not holding plane. I want them to be subordinate. Okay. Yeah. Down here. This isn't going to take too long, I don't think. Though if I compare it to the other page, I see that I probably need to do some simplification on page 62. Probably has to be simplified some, which is fine. Now, what you notice here, I hope you guys notice, is I'm using this, which is a tint of blue. It's a pure color. It's a tint. You can add white to it, and it'll still interact pretty well with, and you can even add black to it like that, as long as the predominant color happens to be this pure color and then lay it over these colors, which are essentially orange, a tint of orange. And what do you got? A chromatic neutral. You don't need black. Save black for when you're wanting to get uh, a real range of value. Just where you want real dark darks. But if you got dark darks everywhere, you're just going to have holes in your composition. So we're going to do this over here too. Now you want holes in your composition where things don't hold plane, and also muddies up your color. And I did this once. I got to go back. I make mistakes. I did this, and I did it because I was using my burn tool. It didn't come out of my using. Oh, that's looking nice. Yeah, that's cooking. That's looking good. I like that. I didn't do it when I was coloring. I did it when I was messing around with trying to change the value of a shadow on Blueboy's face. And when I looked at it later, I said, I muddied up the color. I can go back, fix that. I just want to fix and that's one of the cool things about doing all this as a webcomic, as its intro. I fix all these little problems. I see them. I say, whoa, look at that. And I don't see them. It's nice that I don't see them in print. I don't have to look at them in print and say, oh man, did I make a boo-boo? I do it here and it's easily fixed. I can redraw pages, which I did last night. I took page 64 and I redrew the entire thing. Threw the other one in the can. It'll be one of those. It's a blooper. It's part of my blooper reel. Now 64 is better. I don't know if it's perfect or anything, but it has a much nicer composition. Something a little more in line with the way compositions are done when you want to do something that stands up and sings the national anthem. Yeah, right. And so these are also going to have shadow in them, make them higher contrast. I guess I'm just keeping them as black and white. They're made of aluminum, I guess. My dad never talked too much about his time when he was a lumberjack. It was a family tradition until he decided that it was a good way to stay poor all your life. He didn't think it was a good idea. Neither did my mom. So he lit out into a different profession, which fortunately he had the GI Bill to help him out with. So he's able to do that. GI Bill was the equivalent of the Pell Grant back before the Pell Grant. So you wanted to get a college education and go to the military. At least if you're a guy. or we have parents who were able to save a lot of money. Okay. I have somebody watching. It's amazing. It's my old buddy. Let me see. Comments. Nope, nobody yet. And they're gone. Scared somebody off. Reminds me of when I was 20 years old. I hitchhiked to California. And Artie Romero made a sign for me. It said, 100% guaranteed harmless. And a little old lady from Dearborn, Michigan picked me up. No, Ann Arbor. She was from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And she took me all the way to Flagstaff, Arizona. She's a real nice lady, a retiree. And I was 100% harmless. Well, let's see what that looks like. Well, I think I'm going to leave it like that. And if I have any problems with the opposing page, I'll make the adjustments in the opposing page. I'll get this out of the way, see what it looks like. But it's not that difficult to go in and simplify things. Even if I just went in and redrew all of the figures in this kind of simplicity so that these two matched. And the next page, which, as you can see, this guy's up to no good. The next page I redrew last night and wanted to make it instead. There's this thing in Greek drama. Thank you, Rafieldi, for teaching me about Greek drama, in which acts of violence are never shown on stage in Greek theater. So I decided to keep the dirty deed, there's about to be a murder, guys, off the, it's not going to be shown, the actual thing. Later, in the next page, I'll show poor old Clifford in a heap, but I won't show the actual thing going on. So I decided to do this. Everybody's gotten distracted, gone off into there, except for this guy right here. Now I have to use the color to make sure that you notice there's a guy running over there with a spear in his hand. And then down here, I put some narrative in here that concerns Blueboy's not catching it and feeling like he should have noticed it. Okay. So now it's a matter of I got my tone layer, got my watercolor layer. Watercolor layer really helps. I had one guy on a comic book site saying watercolor works. Hey, the watercolor does work. It's a beautiful thing. Watercolor is a beautiful medium that does not take a million years to do. And when you do it, if you get it right, then great, go on. If you don't get it right, you throw that thing away. Anyway, let's go up here. Somebody's mowing their lawn next door. It's always happened to me. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna. He's here in the light. He's just barely in the light caused by this tree, this Blueboy, and we want him to kind of stand out here. You want his foot to stand out, and you want this guy to have absolutely no tone on him. I want him to be pure color, to be as recognizable as possible, and just really stand out. So he'll get me against muted colors, and I have a little problem there. I can fix that real simply by taking that line. Yep, got rid of that. And then these guys, I'm going to keep all these guys somewhat muted because I don't want them to interfere with Leroy. I'll give him some. And then this horse, I love drawing horses, man. My Facebook memories, Facebook tells you we really are real concerned about your memories. You should maybe take one of those memory enhancers that you can get at your drugstore. Anyway, they show you these memories. They showed me a drawing I did from one of my adventures at the racetrack. I don't gamble, but I do like to see horses when I can. So I'll put this up here. My sweetie's home from her excursion. She's going to walk the dog. Okay, and then I'll put this over here. I'll do this. So I give this some attention. This is that buckskin that was standing over Leroy as he was saying something that really ticked off Clifford. So I have a little continuity there. Okay, here's that buckskin. I'll bring this down over here. And want this to be somewhat illuminated. Now here, all this stuff's gray. Trees are gray. This is a big, like a real big group of trees. So big that there's no light between them. At least for my purposes, there isn't. And I'll do that so that I can silhouette that horse's head a little bit better. want that to happen. And so this guy's hat should be in the light because he's far enough away from Leroy, so he's not going to take any of the attention from him. And then a few little things over here to show that we're in the same general area. I'm going to leave all this in the tone, bring this up a little bit over here. These are leafless trees, which is what you would expect in February. Okay, now this down here, and Leroy's entire upper torso. I put this line here in the drawing. I can get rid of it later if I want to, but just to show me that his entire face is illuminated, and we'll have and probably should be something like this. I have to clean up a little bit of this drawing. I did it, actually this whole arm right here, I did it like 9 o'clock this morning. And I had something else going on in the background, but I just wanted to just make it the classic comic book Biff Bam Pow thing, and make Boy's face stand out right down here. Take that out right there. Okay, take that out. Take that out. Okay. So I have Blueboy's face fully illuminated against a muted sky, muted blue-green sky. His face will be warm. It should work okay. And this is classic impressionism, in which you use a cool background to accentuate a warm face. I'm going to take a little bit of his hand and put it in the sky too. Well, put it in the sunlight too. So and maybe I could do it like that. Okay. And maybe right down here, he could also be in the shade. Maybe, we can just imply that there's something over the back. Okay, this has to not be muted at all. I'm going to have to do something here. I'm going to have to use my geometric lasso to make a better symbol here. That could be better. So I'm going to do that right now. Okay, and then I have to bring it up like this. And create another layer for it because I don't want to mess with it. It has to be, well, I probably should be normal. Okay. Then polygonal. Nice straight lines. Okay. Now just bring this up here. Got it. Now fill it with black. Or let's try red. What the heck? Let's get real cartoony. Fill with a color. And what's that color going to be? Okay. Let's try a kind of a red with a little bit of magenta and yellow, a little cyan in it, just so it's not a well. Okay, there it is. Now, so deselect that and figure out whether or not you want just that. Do I want just that? I may just leave it like that. I would have to. That also means put it on normal, which, okay, I've got to erase that right there. Maybe I can just do it this way. Okay, got rid of that. I may just leave it like that. Make it real simple. Okay, it's on a separate layer. I'm going to lock that thing so I don't have to mess with it. No matter what I do to this, since it's normal and it's 100% opacity, I don't have to worry about it. And it has to go in the upper layers right next to the border so it doesn't get interfered with. Okay. And probably should go down here and do some burning so it's not just scratched pencil lines. And let that, okay. And you want to make it real black. Okay. And use my hand tool because in the past I've overdone it with my trackpad. Do a little more down here. Don't overdo it. Just want to get rid of some of this do that. I want Blueboy's hair to be coal black. And okay, maybe over here I can clean that up a tiny bit. Maybe have a little bit of dirtiness over down here. And get that there. That. Clean up a little bit of the edge of that. That also down there. Doesn't need to be there. Do that right there. That line going through there. That arm was in a completely different place, so I drew right through that tree. I should probably draw on this thing for a second or two, just for the heck of it. And here's my a basic watercolor brush. If you're real careful, it'll give you a nice line. And I need to do a little bit down here. We have to clean that up. Boy, that's kind of a shaky line, isn't it? I'm going to have to undo that. Well, where are you? Oh, okay. It was delayed. Okay. I don't like those. Leave them alone. Are you going to be delayed? Okay, you were delayed. Okay, I got that. Okay, I can deal with this up here. Okay, I just leave this alone. Might want to clean that up here just a tiny bit. Okay, I can live with that. I got to get rid of that. Gave Blueboy a little more hip than I did originally. Come on, be nice. There you go. And then clear out to clean up this little area here. That small, jagged line. Clean that up. Okay, clean that up a little bit. If you listen to me often, you're going to get used to my dog. He sees anything, and he thinks it's time to play. That is not, oh, I'm mad at you. It's, why aren't you coming over here and playing with me? Don't you know the rules? Huh? The social distancing thing is just not for my dog. He does not understand anything about it. He sees his buddies. I'm walking the dog. He sees one of his friends. They're both jumping up and down, over here and smell my behind. And of course, the owners are practicing social distancing, and so they're talking from across the street. And the dogs are just going nuts. They're saying, "Do you guys understand what's going on here?" And of course, they don't understand what's going on here. So let's look at that. Okay, I got something to play with now. Now we're going to lay in the sky first thing. Okay. Now, if you were with me the last couple of days, you notice we had some clouds in the sky. They just can't disappear immediately. So you got to put some in the sky. So I'm just going to. That's a little too. Okay. But over here where they don't interfere with the action that's going to happen in the lower part of the. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Just like that. So they're not. We're not in a different world. This guy will leave alone. Okay. And then now we get, now we're going to go up into color, unlock that, lock this, lock this. Helps to lock things, keeps you from making the mistakes that I always seem to make. And then we'll get that little color there. I wonder why that color is there. Okay, let's brighten that color a tiny bit. It's sort of a, shouldn't be that. Okay, so now we'll go into this, start coloring the sky. I like to start out with the background, then go to the foreground because you can always lay things over it. Get it to behave like a background. Is this on normal? I am so dumb. I set these things up and I don't do it right. Oh, now it looks like the sky that we all know and love. So I've got it in a brush that actually does multiply. So I'm going to do some smudging. And since I know this now, I'll try not to try to do this all in one fell swoop. If you like what you see, why don't you put a comment in there and say, gee, where'd you learn to be so such a scintillating public speaker? Oh boy, my poor students. If I wasn't so confident of the content of my lectures, I'd feel sorry for them. But I've been working on these lectures for like close to 30 years, so they're pretty solid. Maybe not this lecture, if you consider this a lecture. Anyway. This is also well, what are you doing down here? Huh? You're going to make me, yeah, okay, you're not catching up with me. Need a new computer. Need a faster video card. It's a 2009 laptop that I traded for a painting. Well, I traded a painting for this. Shame I can't find somebody who wants to give me a late model iMac for a painting. Okay. And what we hope is that that also illuminates old Clifford over there. Let's see what goes on here. I'll stop for a second, let the computer catch up to me, and I can take a swig of coffee. Yeah, that got Clifford in there. I'll just have to smudge these areas that are going to have these edges to them like this. I'll just have to smudge those. And I've done that before. It works. You can be smudging the sky anyway. You have to mess with the clouds, so just go back there. Wee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Okay, over here. And we got this dead tree that they line up. They pile all the pike poles against. And I smudged, with my being left-handed, you're always smudging the things on the left side of the drawing. I smudged it a bit, and I left it that way because it gives me that kind of cool shift from shadow to light, which is dramatic. Okay, get this boy to be the little central figure. And I am here today using a little thing that I learned. Teaching art history teaches you so much about how to create compositions and to create the thing that you want to do. Is that in Pieter Bruegel's Landscape with the Fall of Icarus, he's got you looking at this guy plowing a field, and you don't notice that Icarus is in the bay drowning. So I took a little thing out of Bruegel's playbook, and I got this guy over here who you're going to notice these guys first. You have to. They're right there. But this guy is sort of like almost hidden over there. I'm not going to make him completely hidden. He's going to have a much brighter green outfit on. To make a little adjustment there in my drawing because I forgot to put him in short sleeves, but it's easy to fix. And so you don't notice, and this gets my idea that everybody's distracted. Nobody was thinking about this until the dirty deed happens. You should see he's about to impale poor old Clifford with a pike pole, whose original purpose was not to be a spear, but to use that hook to grab on to logs and move them around, especially when they're in the water. But many, many things have been used against their original purpose. So there we got that. Let's go down here, do the exact same thing. Except this time it's going to be all blue. I'm not going to have any clouds in the sky because we got them kind of moving away in the top one. So we have some visual justification for leaving it alone. Now, what I can do is figure out some way to, we'll see. My eyes will tell me what I'm supposed to do, not my mind. I can all types of ideas about a picture, but it's your eyes that are going to tell you what's really going on. That's the difference between, like when I start out a drawing, and if you're an artist, you do the exact same thing. You got this idea in your head, in your mind, but when it gets down to the paper or the canvas or the wherever you do it or the computer screen, it takes on a life of its own. Things that you don't see in your mind. And so let's see how I do this. I don't know what I was just talking about. If I can get this done today, I've got my 3 pages for this week, which means over the weekend, maybe I'll just do some recoloring. Saturday's kind of a poor day for anybody to stay home and watch you do stuff, especially since the country is opening up and people can go to the beach and go to the woods and go to the lake and stuff like that. Not likely to be watching me do anything, so why not recolor? All this is done with a mechanical pencil. Funny. Sorry, inkers. I don't employ anybody anyway. It's all just me. One of my friends is a pretty well-known inker. Did it for Marvel for years. I don't know what he thinks about all this. Maybe gritting his teeth, but he doesn't work for Marvel anymore. He's got a lot better gig going than Marvel. A lot better gig. And he still has his Marvel reputation. An absolutely wonderful guy, too. Now see if I can just draw underneath this. And because I've got this in an upper layer, which cannot be, see, that's the advantage of having a normal layer on top of a multiply layer, is that it's going to, you can just draw right through it almost as a mask. Okay. And that. Yeah, I can clean all that up later before I put in the facial color. Because if I'm smudging, I'm probably going to get some bleed over into the figure. Hooty hoot. This is 64, so this is the first. This is the left-hand side of a spread. So as I look at the second book, this would be in the third book, though. So if it's in the third book, it's not the third book, but it's the third issue. Decided to break these up, and then the first trilogy will be and then it will be a deluxe edition of all the separate issues, which will enable me to get a lot of these little issues done. Really, really high quality. And won't break the bank doing it. You know, the heck. I have no idea whether or not this is the answer to what I mused when I was looking at that old comics journal article about, well, snippet of an article about me lamenting my exit from comics. Whether or not this is something significant, because I am a lot better artist than I was 45 years ago. I am far, far better at it than I used to be. I have studied A lot. I've observed a lot. I've been to museums. I've taught art history. I've done all types of stuff. And I've drawn and drawn and drawn. And I have this inventory of forms and shapes and stuff like that that I never had when I was in my 20s. I could draw. I could, I could do things in my 20s that I can't do now. Like when I was in my early 20s, I could do a faithful portrait of somebody in less than a minute. I just look at you. I can't do that now. I don't know what was going on with my head then. I had maybe different brain. But back then I could actually do that. And I was going, how did I ever do something like that? I guess if you were at the county fair and you were doing caricatures, yeah, that would be a really good skill to have because you can make a lot of money. Here, I'll do your portrait in a minute. Next, next, next. Where you know it, you go home rich. But probably won't be any county fairs for a while. That stopped. The rotary phone sure did. Okay. Now let's go down here. Let's try to have a little less rotary phone. Okay, a little less rotary phone. A little less rotary phone. Oh, where's my? Oh, I'm at strength 28%. That's why it's taking forever and not doing much. I can be a big dummy. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, now we go up to 100% strength. Oh, see? There. Problem is that it kind of lightens it up, which is not a bad thing. It's a strange thing. Oh, well. At least it's going to get evened. Yeah, it's evened up now. Yeah, it evens up the tone so it doesn't look like it's a bunch of separate brush strokes. That helps. Okay. And I didn't get these dad burn rotary phones. But I still get this kind of strange thing going on here. Oh well. Maybe it's just doing one fell swoop. Okay. Well, that was a lot better. So I'm getting a rotary phone. It's not much. And here's a little bit of rotary phone. But not much. I can bring this over here like that. Make it sort of like a dramatic thing. Okay. What was going on here? Huh. Probably I needed to go down here, take my, okay, unlock that, and yeah, dodge that. Ugh. Uh-huh. Right down there too. Yep, got that. Okay. I think I'm gonna leave that. Uh, I think I'm gonna leave that area just this. Maybe I could do that. Okay, that's a little better. And then I have to clean this guy's nose. Because it bled over into his, and then it bled over a little bit here. Uh-oh. Okay. And I got a little bit over here. A little bit here. A little bit down here, I think. A little bit of his elbow. Okay. And a little bit down here. A little bit right here. But not bad. Okay. So get my hand tool. I didn't tell you to do that. Oh, okay, I gotta do it up here too. Thanks for reminding me. Okay. So I should bring it up where I can actually see it. Okay. Now just go through this real carefully. And smooth everything out. And as I'm thinking about it, I'm letting my mind tell me what to do right now. I'm going to just leave this greenish color so that Blueboy, with his warm colored face, becomes a focal area the same way that the plower in Bruegel's landscape with the fall of Icarus becomes the focal area because he's wearing that red sleeve. Well, I'm not going to worry about a red sleeve. I'm just going to give him a warm face. Do a little Mary Cassatt in the boating, that little boating painting of hers where everything's green and blue in the background, and then the warm colors of the couple and their child's face become focal areas, and hopefully it'll work like that because that's what my mind tells me it'll do. And we'll see whether or not in reality it happens that way. Okay, let's see if I can. Doesn't have to be. I can have little variations here. Won't break the bank or kill the effects. Bring that over there. Okay. Okay. Not so horrible. Now let me see what I want to do with the sky. The sky, the sky, the sky. Because you want to have a little key that tells you that the previous page and this one have something to do with each other, and those clouds help do that. I'm going to bring my strength down to 28 so that I don't keep obliterating those. Go down to the layer below and soften those bottom edges up a little bit. Okay. If I can, a little bit here too, a little softening of the bottom edges. And I should probably give myself a little more white down here. Yeah, a little more like that. And then that color layer, maybe get rid of that because it's a little jarring. Yeah, like that. Okay. Now, back to the color layer, and we might as well go to town and go with this guy's green. See how that affects things. Oh. Forgot that this guy is wearing a vest and short sleeves. So back down to that. Then way too big a brush. Got that. Got that. Okay, that helps. Okay. Now we can go back to that. Okay. Let's see how that works. On the color layer, so I don't have any problems with obliterating something. Not going to make any difference right now, but in a few minutes it might. Okay. Now we need flesh color. Get my flesh color from my previous page here. Get my flesh color from that guy's nose right there. And then go down to this. And so put the flesh color up here and here. Okay, now Blueboy's got to be fleshed out. And look what I did to him. Oh yeah, I said, hey, I don't have to clean everything up. Just wait a second. Maybe I can do it. Yeah, I can just override that. Okay. 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 Let me see. I'll have to play around with that to get that to really come out. So we have our buckskin horse. Might as well play with around with our buckskin horse. His color of his skin was right about like that. So let's play around with our buckskin. Over here in color, good. And as I get all his color figured out, I'll be able to turn him into a buckskin like Matt Dillon used to ride. See where we're going there. Okay. Give him his backside. Got to work something out when it comes to that tail. That tail, because a buckskin is really dark. I can't have a black tail against a black background. So I may have to change my mind about being a buckskin. We'll see. Okay, might as well color his tail. Okay. Huh. Well, I refuse to use any black smudging in this to get my way. Okay. We got that color of his khakis. Yeah, that's the color of his khakis right there. It's a greenish color. This is his khakis over here. Okay. And okay, the color of the ground is in that color. So I'm going to bring that over here also. Okay. So we bring this up here. over there. We've got it over here. Bring it down over here. 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 Down there. Okay, now. Really have to brighten Blueboy's face up. Otherwise, he's just gonna be flat as a pancake. Mm-hmm. Okay. Over here. Bring this like that. Now, the main way you're going to notice Leroy about to do the dirty deed is through the fact that he's up above a horizon line. So he's isolated a little bit. That'll help you to eventually notice him. Okay, he's kind of lost between those two guys standing there and Blueboy, so you're not going to look at him immediately. But you will, because you see that pole, you will eventually notice him. It won't take long. And so these guys have to be wearing something kind of nondescript. I'm probably just going to take that gray there and see how it looks there. That's not the gray that I was looking at. That gray. Yeah. Okay. Now we do the same thing we did with all our other subordinate areas, is we will give them just one color, and that'll keep them from being too noticed. Might have to lighten that gray a bit. Lighten that gray a tiny bit. It's a tiny bit too dark. Yep. Then this guy can be a slightly nicer tone, more like that, maybe. That can be his hat color. Still don't want him becoming a focal area. He's just a subordinate area. That gives you something for your eye to focus on in that portion of the composition. Maybe I'll give this guy a slightly lighter green than this guy, so it appears he might have something to do with the guy who was holding Clifford back. And maybe give him some flesh color so he's not just white bearded old guy. A little flesh color over here. So now we have to deal with this area here, which should be a lot lighter than everything else, and in some respects, really sing out. At least that's what the plan is. Yeah, still in the color area. Okay, see if I can make that work. Do. Almost any orange looks good with green. Okay, let's let that fill in. Boy, I'm having a super bad hair day. Ooh. I gotta get to a hair barbershop once they open up. Well, I don't know how that's working out, but what I might do is I might draw very lightly into all that. Okay. Yeah, probably just draw into all that, give it some definition. And down here too, kind of finish. I gotta fill all that in because the black will just look like a separate shape if I don't. Oh boy. I wonder how the fall semester in colleges around the country are going to be. My school is hoping to be face to face by September, but California State's already decided they're not. And there are other schools that are doing it. And if the Florida College Board of Regents, University Regents, decide to remain online for the fall semester, my school will follow suit because they are governed. Well, I don't know. DeSantis, I'm here in Florida, is all for ramp things back up, which is probably, despite all the risks, maybe the smartest thing to do because I read this today that there is a multifold increase in suicides in California. You have to do a cost benefit analysis of these things. How many people are dying because of the lockdown? And that's not for me to say. I'm just a guy doing comics. Let the big guys figure that one out. But it'll probably be a factor in whether or not we go back to face to face. Oh, I'm still at 36%. That's why I'm getting rotary phone. Go back up to that, and you don't get rotary phone anymore. Takes more power from the CPU to figure out how to do it. 36% that it does at 100%. Okay, got him. Bring that down here, bring that. Just get rid of these little white specky spots that are not particularly adding to the believability of the space. Okay, so let's place something in the shadow area that will help that poor horsey out. So I'm gonna, it can't be too garish. Has to probably be in this area. Take out all of the black and see what happens to our horsey when I place this in. Nothing. Because it's in normal. Ugh. Well, it's still happening. Well, it's interesting. It does look more like a buckskin like this. Oh, where it not darken? Multiply, boy. Gee. Multiply. Ah, there. Now it works as a shadow. Okay. Ooh la 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 la. Okay. So bring it all the way down here, all the way up here, and then in there, in there, and there. You can do it there too. Don't have to get too rambunctious. I'm going to get rid of this right here. Yeah, because that doesn't really make sense. Maybe a tiny bit here. Okay. Okay. So I don't necessarily have to follow the crowd. I'm going to over here. No, it's a blur tool. I'm going to use the burn tool on his face and see if I can get a that didn't work, did it? Yeah, it does. That didn't work that as well as I wanted it to. Maybe I just make him a regular horsey. Breaks my heart, but I may have to do that. Yeah, just make him a regular horse. What the heck? It's not going to hurt it's not going to hurt the plot. Okay, boots. Boot color. Boot color. Okay. Give be sure I know which layer I'm on. Nope, I don't want to be on tone. Want to be on this color. Okay. Yeah, you want a little bit of white there. You want just a little bit of that going on. Maybe we can use brown over here too. That didn't work. Okay, now. So now I'm going to draw on the, yeah, let's draw there. How about if I, don't want to get too wild. I'm using a lighter line color to make sure that that line does not advance in space and become a problem for me. I just want to suggest that we're still in the same general area as what happened in the last couple of pages. Okay, now down here, I want to start playing around with this so that it doesn't look like an even surface. I'll save this just in case. It's about the time of the day when I start having technical difficulties. Okay. Beep-a-deep-a-doop. If you like this stuff, where's my banners? If you like this stuff, you think what I'm doing is good enough so that you'd like to become a part of it, get your name on the credits page of every issue of Blueboy Brown, The Adventures of a Family, when it goes into print, and also probably find some way to put it on my website, though print is more fun. Patreon. I have a special going on. I've been away from comics for 45 years. When that little article by Dale Luciano came out about that, which I was mentioned, I was not the subject of the article. It was about, what's that? I'm drawing on top. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I'll do that a little bit later, though. Yeah. I was not the subject of the article. I was just a small subset in when they got down to the T's. Dave Taylor of the New Wave survey of New Wave comics, which was a sort of like the second wave of underground comics in the 1970s was called New Wave. And a lot of them were like real small press, real small and independent. They were like the beginnings of indie comics. Anyway, in 1985, I was mentioned by Luciano. And he lamented that I left comics, that I could have become a big deal. At that age, I wouldn't have known how to be a big deal. All I would have done is just been a kind of a little jerk that I was. And all of my buddies who knew me back then, you have to admit that I was a bit of a jerk. I think we all back then kind of admit that we were all kind of in the jerk department. We had a lot of growing up to do. We thought we knew everything. Oh well, that's coming together. Okay, now what I was going to do is reduce the size of this. I put just some little marks here and there. So these, so it just sort of like opens up that dark area. So it's not just a flattened out. You do the same thing over here. Okay, and but when I do that, I have to come up here. Ooh, I have to darken in some of that black. There, it can't just look like pencil marks. Same thing over here. That's a shadow of somebody guy who's leading a horse over there. Gotta be careful of those things. To look at every little spot and say, is that advancing the idea, visual idea that I've got? It doesn't make some changes. Okay, change the perimeter of that. Okay. And I'd like, once you learn horse anatomy, it's not that complex a system. Just, it's a, it's a beautiful, beautiful organization. The way a horse's body is put together. Boy, take a look at George Stubbs' anatomy of horses. It'll blow you away. Okay, a little bit of this here. Want to darken that dead tree a bit. Bring him over here so that when it goes up to that lightness, it makes sense. And sure, I got some real blacks in here. So I'm going to have to put in some grays in here in a few minutes. I want those grays to really work against that black. Yeah, I can't forget this stand of trees, but it's going to be a very light gray. It has to be a really, really light gray. Otherwise, you don't get any real contrast. So I'm going to just use that right there. And I'm up in color layer. I'm glad I did something right for once. Okay. Okay. Maybe I can isolate that horse's head a little bit from all that white. And this doesn't have to be given a detailed coloring. It can just be kind of be slapped in there. Probably still work. Okay. Okay, now let's get this colored in so it doesn't look stupid. And probably put all this gray in there just because you don't want all the little white specks coming out. And rotary phone, rotary phone, rotary phone. A little bit of gray up here. Not all gray. Leave some of that white, which I can always remove if I don't like it. And yeah, okay. Okay, now shadow. What if I were to bring this gray over here? Oh, that's not a good idea. Yeah. Well, I went over here to layer 4. What is layer 4? Heck, if I know. Probably I just laid it over there in case I wanted to do something silly. But I better make it multiply so it actually works. What if I were to use this to darken his backside just the tiniest bit? And lay this over here. So it's just, and then I could do the same thing here. Don't want it to, here, I don't have to worry about eraser. Okay, just sharpen that. Okay. Okay, I don't have to go crazy on this. Yeah, just like that. Okay, so I wanted to do something Blueboy's face to make it pop out a little bit. So we'll just add a little white up here. And smudge him just a tiny bit. Well, no. Okay. Got to bring my strength of my smudger down to a real tiny, tiny, tiny bit so it doesn't, yeah, just that bit. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. I might want to bring that smudge down just a little bit more so that, that dodging down a little bit more so that, yeah, he actually does stand out there, and probably need to get rid of that little bit right there. Okay. Yep. Yep. And I can take this and bring it down a little bit. There we go. There we go. And then smudge this a little bit too. Dodge that a little bit too, so that we get a sort of like a 2 points that allow us to pop up and down his body and see the same value, and the eyes will take care of that. They'll know what's going on. The eyes will. The eyes have it. Okay, now that's my it's my top. Okay. Could I take this and do little sections here? So there seems to be a little more variation because these are kind of rocky. And I don't even know if I'm going to soften them. Yeah, leave them like that. The eye, do the mixing. If I don't like it, I can always go back and fix it. Okay, now, yeah, we got Blueboy over here. It's not much to do with Blueboy because he's wearing a white shirt. And we're using this guy's nose as our base color for people's faces today. And I could probably do the same thing that I did. What's all this down here? Huh? Oh, I see. I see. Okay. Duplicate layer. Now, make it normal. Yeah. That was the problem. Okay. Yeah. I don't think I did that anywhere else. No. That was the only place I did that. So I'll leave it like that. Okay. Back down to color. Now what I'll have to do is I'll have to have some kind of transition between light at the top of his head and his throat area. It'll get a little darker. Not in value, but full value of the color. Okay. I have not saved in a while, so I better do that. Okay, saving. Yep, saving. Okay, so let's go back into his, go back to his arm here. See what the difference is between that light area there and the tonal overlay. Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay. Now let's get his hand up here. Okay. Now that shadow that goes over his torso has to be the same value as that right there. I'll have to fix that in a few minutes. I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to go after his pants, which have to have a certain color. Otherwise, people are saying, when did he change his pants? So this is the last page of the week. And the next page will show the reaction of everybody to what's going on. And I don't know if I mentioned this. If I did, then I'm mentioning it again. It's well worth repeating. In my original page of this, I showed the dirty deed. And then I thought about, Raffaelli and his teaching me that in Greek drama, he never showed violence on stage. It was always off stage. It happened, but it was off stage. So that's where I'm getting this idea. There's violence, yeah, but you're not seeing it. You're seeing the results of it, yeah, but you're not seeing the actual deed, which is what I got out of Rolf. He knew everything about Greek drama, boy. When he would demonstrate how at sunup, that's when Greek theater occurred at sunup. They didn't have electric lights. So they did it when they knew they were going to have a lot of sun. Sun would come up, and there'd be this chorus. And we studied the Bacchae by Euripides, and the chorus starts singing at the beginning of the play. But it's not just singing; it's also dancing in a serpentine way, so that you get a certain effect from the words that go beyond just the recitation of the words or just singing them. It's also the movement of the chorus. I got to learn a lot of stuff about how the Greeks did theater from Rolf, and that's why I decided to take this off. Even though I have a earlier page in the book where I show somebody getting killed. I don't know. I may play with that. In the Civil War, it's difficult not to have like multiple deaths all over the place. What are you going to do? Are you going to not look at these things? So I have to figure that one out. But here, I thought it would be much more subtle if it was not seen in the panel. And I got my strength on 19% on my smudging. That's why the rotary phone is going nuts. Oh well. I think I did something to in the Top panel, I think that works. I think that's the best this old man can do. Come on, rotary phone. I've already had my swig of coffee. Okay. Now I've got a. Okay, now I'm gonna. No, I want my smudge. My smudge? Well, why is my smudge at 100%? Huh. Okay. That worked. That worked. That worked. Sort of. Oh, I think I also have a zone of shadows over that also. Yeah, that's what's going on there. Okay. So now put that layer of bluish gray over this. And it might pay to make this an incredibly simple panel. Make it too complex, and the very simple thing that's going to be narrated here maybe doesn't come off. It's going to be a very simple thing that he says, that the narrator says. Pardon me. Okay. I think I'm back. No, still rotary phone. Now the rotary phone's frozen, so come on, don't do that to me. Oh, good. I'm back. So got this done. Just fill these little parts in. I'm going to have to, well, we'll see. Now, should I, or should I? Let me see. Shadow layer. Where's my shadow layer? Okay. Have I done anything with that? Just a tiny bit. Okay. I'm gonna see about that color right there. See how that works as a shadow color over all this. And then when I get finished with it, I'll erase that line that told me where the shadow begins and ends. I can sort of tell this one right here. I also have to make some changes to that shadow because it's a little too even. Okay, see what that does. Everything's way behind, so let's see what it looks like. I think it's there. I'll just smudge that up a bit. Okay. Fill this in. Okay. Okay, now lay some of this over here. To accentuate that shadow. Yeah. At least I have that at 100%. It's not. No, I wasn't. That's what I was doing. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Well, at least now I drink coffee. It's going to be one of those days where I actually finish off my 2 cups of coffee. This is not Folgers, by the way. This is Pilon. It's Cuban espresso. And Cuban espresso is the best coffee I've ever had in my whole life. I don't make it like Cubans do. I actually make it like Americans do. I make it in Mr. Coffee. Cubans like to have a little coffee in their sugar. You wouldn't believe how sweet Cuban coffee is. I can't drink sugar. I drink stevia. So I make it like Americans make it, using the same kind of doling out in Mr. Coffee, 3 teaspoons for a cup. But it come out, and then I put stevia and coffee mate in it, and I have given it to diehard Cuban coffee aficionados, and they like it. But I'm just basically using it the same way I would have used any other coffee, except it's the best coffee in the dadgum world. That's my opinion. Everybody's got a right to their opinion, but I have never had. I used to go all the way to Soho to buy French Italian espresso. It cost me like $7 a pound. I had to go all the way to Soho to get it. And when you ran out, you were out of luck. This I get at the local grocery store. I can get it at Walgreens. I can get it anywhere. Cost practically next to nothing. Cost like, well, you can get it on special for 2 10-ounce bricks for $5, and lasts you forever. It's just, and it's marvelous. The great thing is you don't have to go all the way to Soho. Let me see. Color. Now I'm going to do something with that boy's face to make it a little more ruddy towards the bottom of it, down here. Okay. It just needs to be a little more ruddy. And then I'll smudge the lighter flesh color into that red area. Lower the strength of that smudge so it doesn't overpower everything. I have to put up with my, yeah. Okay, now take this and lighten up the top of his head so that there is a sense that there's something going on there. That it creates a focal area. That's all I'm doing. And I want to make it very slight. I want to make it Okay. And I have to reintroduce that so we have continuity down here. Okay. So take that color, put it up here in the shadow area, and lay that in. So I get one little more band of yeah. And I think um, maybe down here. And you do the same thing here. Well, what was I doing? Oh, that's watercolor. That's oh, 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 tone. Okay, let's see what if I happens when I smudge that. Oh, rotary phone, stop it. There. Okay, now. It's taking a while. I should have gone up to 100%. I will go up to 100% now. Okay, now go up to 100% because I don't want to wait forever. Okay, now I do a little bit of drawing down here. Right about like that. What is the size of my? No, it's not too big. Or I could do that. Way better idea. Okay, I have to wait for my undos to undo themselves. Okay, go down here and get rid of this, which is yeah. Okay, then draw in there. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Well, looking at its predecessor. Oh, I really, someday I'm going to figure out how to get that there. Got that thing to come back up there. Okay, there's its predecessor. Get over there. Get over there. That can work. Do 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 do. Okay. I'm going to have to play around with this page. I may redraw the entire thing. Same poses and everything, but a lot simpler. Just a little too much craziness going on in there. But that's simple to do. It's just a matter of redrawing and then scanning it, laying it in there, and making little adjustments. Won't take much. That may be what I do on Saturday. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do on Saturday instead of. Anyway, here we got these things. Always making these dad burn adjustments. Oh well, that's life. That's part of sequential art. Is that you're always trying to get them to work together. Uh, Even though I don't have a whole lot of black areas in that page 63, it's a long shot now instead of close-ups. But it's page 62 is bugging me, so I'll fix that. And then we go on. I gotta completely redraw page 65. I think after that things calm down and I don't have to be doing a bunch of stuff that causes me to extra work. I don't get paid for this, So let me open up my trusty. Oh, my trusty. Oh, stop it. Bring this over here. Open recent. Let me see. On screen page. Goody, goody, goody. Where are you? There you are. You remember all this. This is Blueboy Brown, The Adventures of a Family. And so it's about 12:30. Been doing this about 2 hours, 36 minutes, and that's a pretty good long time for anybody. And I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish today. And let me see how that, let me just because I'm squirrely. Yeah, this and this are not, they're not incongruous. They work. My problem is this page, not that page, this page, the one I'm moving around. That's the page I need to mess with. And I can do that. I've done this a million times. When you're a printmaker, you're always scraping and burnishing. So that's the way it is. So, hey, if you like what you see, please think seriously about Patreon. You get a piece of original art. I've still got 5 slots left. After that, I'll have other perks. And you get personal messages from me. You get to see previews of everything I do. And then the VIPs, they get an original drawing every month. And I'll be getting those out as soon as I get out of the house. Getting out of the house this time during this episode in American history, I don't do that too much anymore. I'm always hanging out here. But lots of little perks there, and you can also like the page on Blueboy Brown Comics on Facebook. There's also a Blueboy Brown Comics page on YouTube, and then there's good old Blueboy Brown itself, which is the webcomic that enables you to read everything from page 1 to now up to, I'm going to be publishing page up to page 64 on Monday, and it's up to page 61 right now. And if you would take Rick Barry's word for it, and he's an old hand at this, he says, my story consciousness has developed into real saga. He's seen this. He knows a good deal of what's going on. I haven't told him the whole story and everything like that. I got to have some fun here. But he likes it. Says I got lots of muscles because it takes a lot of, get up and go to do this every day. Lots of people do it. But hey, I think maybe it's because I'm 67. 67 doing this every day? Well, lots of people do it, and they're 67 too. What am I bragging about? Anyway, I'm out of here. It's Blueboy Brown. You don't have to suffer with me anymore. Okay, bye-bye. See you tomorrow.